everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by CoolStuffInc.com, CardHoarder.com, Alter Sleeves, as well as Twitch subscribers and Patreon supporters just like you. I am Evan Irwin, and we get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, MTG Nerd Girl.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Ruben Bressler.
Hey, easy for you to say.
Yeah, it's not. I can spill over my own name. It's fine.
That's all right.
If you missed our pre-show, subscribers to this channel get access to our NSFW version early, and we kick it off with our first pick and our giveaway. Get your chance at $50 worth of anything at CoolStuffInc.com by typing ! Raffle in the chat. But sub first to get two chances to win. Support your favorite streamer with your suggestions at the end of the show to see who we raid tonight. That is thanks to our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day. And I will mention that CommandFestOrlando.com does exist. That event is filling up. We are closer to selling out than not, I assure you.
Okay, very cool.
If you guys want to hang out, I will be there all weekend long, and that should be a whole lot of fun.
So, question, what is close to selling out?
The 3 days, the 3-day tickets. And I've already sold out the Saturday 1 days, and the Friday 1 days are going, and the Sunday 1 days are also going.
And so it's not the type of thing where you can just go in like a Grand Prix and like hang out some?
Correct. You need a ticket to get through the door.
Interesting. I thought the tickets were for like the special stuff that you do there. Like
I think those are a thing of the past. I think that the days of Magic events where you don't need a ticket to walk in through the door are over. That is where I think we've moved past the Hadrian's Wall of that.
I'm wondering if that's going to lower, possibly, I doubt it will lower the price for vendors at some of the like tournament style things, right? Because if you need a ticket to enter the door, that's going to lower the traffic for vendors.
It generally doesn't, and the fees don't change, I assure you.
Right. I would also say I think that the vendors will catch you outside if they don't want to buy a ticket. Right. See,
well, this is where, and this is interesting because, and not to get off too much of a tangent, but hey, it's going to be a short show, so whatever. There was a situation where a Command Fest was run alongside a Flesh and Blood event, and apparently they shared some bathrooms. And if you went through the Flesh and Blood event, you could go to the Command Fest event and vice versa, even if you might not have paid for the Command Fest. So, that can be a problem. So it's a little weird. So you definitely want your events to be like, this is all tickets or this is all not tickets. And generally the new normal is you get tickets because you're there to buy an experience. It helps to pay for like literally everything. Everything costs $1 million these days. And let's have
how much is it? How much is 1 day and how much is a full weekend?
1 day is, I believe that was $39.99 for your 1 day.
Okay.
I'm sorry, $49.99 for your 1 day and $140 for the 3 day. So $50 a day or $140 for all weekend. And you get like a commander hub and the entry vouchers that get you play stuff and all that stuff.
You get $50 worth of value. It just makes sure that you are there to not screw around. That's what entry fees are for events like this.
Yeah, it helps. It's the atmosphere.
Keep the riffraff out. Yeah.
Right.
And what was that URL again, Evan?
CommandFestOrlando.com.
CommandFestOrlando.com. Good to know.
CommandFestOrlando.com. You guys should check that out. Okay. So it's time for an old man to yell at clouds. Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gate is coming. And they have announced what could be one of the strangest mechanics I've ever seen. Certainly, I don't think since the days of Mutate and Ikoria have I seen a mechanic that just went completely crazy, like one called Specialize. I'm not even going to get into what these cards do, but I would like to try to explain what the Specialize does. The Specialize is an ability on cards that will allow you to discard a card of a color or land type. And based on the color or the land type that you discard, you get to choose one of, 5 different options based on the color wheel, based on what you discarded. So there's that. And that's a whole lot. How do you guys feel about Specialize at this point?
I think it's kind of neat. It is a digital only thing, so it's not something we have to worry about in paper. Mm-hmm. But I will say, I got my Specialized preview days and days ago before they told us how Specialized work. So for the last week, I've been like staring at these cards going, what is going on? And it was a pretty interesting, because like my preview cards didn't come with like, you know, the little like blow up directions when you hover over the card that tells you how it works. Preview card didn't come with that. So I was just kind of like looking at them like for like a week.
Yeah. This is a lot. This is a cool idea. I think that if Magic Arena were its own product and Magic the Gathering didn't exist in real life, the ability is very cool. With that said, I dislike it for two reasons. Number one is this is extremely complex. As Nerd Girl said, if you stared at it for a week, you probably couldn't figure it out. I have the rules in front of me and I'm having trouble figuring it out. And the other facet of it that I think a lot more people agree on is that they're reusing art from paper cards. And a lot of the way that people shortcut with what cards are is through the art. Oh, I recognize that art. That's Llanowar Elf. Oh, I recognize that art. That's Earthbind. You know, you sort of gain those, like you get a little flash of recognition out of the corner of your eye. Oh, that's a Restoration Angel. I'm going to pick that for my cube deck. You can't do that anymore with these. You don't know what the cards do anymore because this art, even though Wilson does have a little bit of twinge color change when Wilson specializes based on what season you pick, it's still Wilson. So you don't know if it's a 5/5 with trample or if it's a 3/4 with, I'm going to assume, lifelink. And that's super complicated. And I'm not sure I love that.
It's, yeah, I think it's just one of those like bridges that you felt like they would never cross. Like they did it in unsets, right? And that to me was a joke, right? That was the joke, is that they reuse the art because they never do that. And they would never do that in an actual, you know, sort of black border product. And technically, I guess this isn't a black border product, right? It's still only in the digital realm. So it's just it's a weird bastion to kind of pass up.
I think that I'm not swayed by the argument that Magic needs to be serious. You know, I've said many times on this show that Magic's at its best when it's a little bit jokey. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that when Richard Garfield designed Magic, it was a lot closer to what an unset looks like than what a Pro Tour deck looked like.
Sure. Right.
He designed it to be more jokey and weird than chess. And so I think that based solely on concept, I like the idea of, you know, do a special thing and get one of 5 types. But the complexity is horrendous, and the confusion based on just not reusing art is bad.
Well, I don't think that the confusion with the art is going to be an issue because these alternate arts are not going to be created in paper, and the paper versions are not going to make it to Arena. So
that's fair.
That is going to be pretty minimal. I do think it's a little weird. Like if you're playing against it on the table in EDH, then you might think of the bear that you see on Arena because the art is not the same. But I think that argument is, you know, not for how many different things we have to keep in our head with all the different arts, all the different Thaalias and stuff like that already anyway. It shouldn't take up too much extra space. I do think that it's weird to have a lot of cards that all have 30,000 different arts for the same card and not to go through the trouble to make a new art for a new card, but it's a different platform.
I understand you want to use all the parts of Buffalo. That part I get, but there's some really kind of head scratchers. A good one here is the Gate of the Black Dragon, which in the Arena version enters the battlefield tapped. It's a land swamp gate, not just a land gate. And for a black and 3 generic mana, you can tap : seek a non-land card, activate only once, and you can tap it for a black. Now, if you go over to Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, it's Black Dragon Gate, not Gate of the Black Dragon. It enters the battlefield tapped. It's not a swamp gate, for whatever that means. As it enters the battlefield, you choose a color other than black, and then you tap to add black or 1 mana of the chosen color. This is basically 1000% copy pastable into Arena. There's been plenty of lands like it that help you choose land colors and stuff. And so like, really, this is the really moment where did you really need to do that? Like, isn't it? I don't know. Is this a flex? Like, what's going on here? You know?
I mean, I don't mind them trying to explore the space that they've created for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
My major opposition is the reusing of the art. Just because even I guess it is correct that these will never be in the same format as the paper cards. But my brain doesn't like it. I don't know how else to say it other than that. My brain doesn't like it.
It don't feel good. I don't know how to exactly equate what's going on here, but it's just we're in a brave new world at this point, and that's all sort of where we're at.
I don't mind it. I think it's fine. I think the people who don't like it are already not playing Alchemy, and it doesn't affect you at all.
That is a very good point.
For what it's worth, I do play Alchemy. I like Alchemy. I've enjoyed Alchemy. Yeah, absolutely. I've got a whole bunch of Alchemy stuff. So, it's, to me, I'm just like, again, as we discussed in the pre-show, I bet this plays great. I bet this plays like $1 million bucks, and it's neat and it's fun. But, it's all of the other things that surround it that make you go, man, that just feels uncomfortable.
I feel like you might be the minority. I think the most vocal people against these are probably the people who already hated Alchemy and would have never touched it anyway. I don't even play Alchemy or care. So that's part of the reason why I don't care about these cards being weird.
Sure.
Right. And I think that had we not had such an adverse reaction to Alchemy in the first place, because it felt like they took something from us when Alchemy was introduced, we would have a totally different reaction to this. And again, I think that the design is cool. I think that the ability is neat, and it is something that we've never seen in Magic before. So
and
for all those reasons, if I played Alchemy, I might give these a shot because they look cool.
And I will definitely deck build with that stuff and have fun with these Alchemy cards because I dig it and I like playing fun different Magic. I like playing fun different decks, and there's a lot of cool decks you can build only because Alchemy is weird and works the way it does. And there's some Planeswalkers you can only build around because they're in Alchemy and work the way they do. So that's cool. So again, I think this probably plays fantastic, and just God, it is so hard to even explain, what everything does. And maybe there's something they're okay with. As we move out of the first pick, we go to Gather the Townsfolk, thanks to our sponsor, cardhoarder.com, offering the best inventory prices and delivery of cards for Magic Online. This week, there is going to, let's go ahead and first talk about Double Masters being fully spoiled. At this point, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, we have seen all of the rares and mythics. We might still be lacking some commons, might still be lacking some uncommons that will drop tomorrow, but I believe we have all of the rares and mythics. And as such, I think it is also clear that you could see from the many fire sales of Commander Legends 2 that it feels like multiple things from that set were put here instead of there, specifically Dockside Extortionist and Smothering Tithe.
Yeah.
So that got robbed.
Yeah, it got definitely got some highway robbery happening. I think that a lot of the cards that are in Double Masters should have been in Double Masters.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, Imperial Seal should be in Double Masters. I get it. That's fine.
Absolutely. Imperial Seal, Warrior's Oath,
Force Negation, go nuts.
Yeah. Those should all be here. But you're right. They robbed a couple of big money things, and kind of obviously, in my opinion, because there's a huge gap in between value in these two sets that came out a month apart.
I mean, it kind of makes some sense to me in that, this is supposed to be D&D themed, and, I think they were trying to maximize the hype based on the flavor, not necessarily the excitement of the cards within the packs. And then they put this set has a lot less of a theme and is a little bit more exciting. So one is supposed to, cater to EDH and casual players who like D&D and flavor. And the other one, I think, is supposed to be more just like our Modern Masters or whatever, Eternal Masters, those types of, juiced up packs.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this as well in terms of set value and total set value. And you can really see it in the European amount, a lot, obviously, in the dollar amount. But if you look at the European amount, the entire set for one of every card in Commander Legends, the original, a little over €1,000, one for every card, and the new one, a little over €300. So we're talking way below the values. And so those who kind of went deep to buy that stuff and to get the collector boxes, they're not seeing the gains on basically any of that. Wizards didn't give you more or less any of the juicy reprints that you would hope to see. They're all in Double Masters 2022.
Yeah, I think, but so agnostic of Commander Legends 2. Double Masters looks sweet.
Looks dope.
If you look at it by itself, tons of reprints that people wanted, tons of extremely expensive reprints that maybe people don't necessarily want, but the people that do want them can't get a hold of them because Imperial Seal is $700 and Warrior's Oath was $450 or whatever.
Right.
So those reprints, excellent. And the downshifts, I think that the most exciting thing, the most discussion at least I've seen, is the downshifts in rarity for a bunch of cards, particularly the additions to Pauper. There's some extremely exciting Pauper additions in this set, not the least of which is Monastery Swift Spear coming to Pauper, which is bound to shake up the format. So I think that there's some very interesting things that they've done. I love the art. I love the art direction of this set. A lot of old artists like Richard Kane Ferguson and Phil Foglio were brought back to do new art for new pieces. And I think that the extended border pieces all are particularly good in this set. Sometimes you get an extended border and you're like, we didn't really need an extended border for this art. It felt like the art that was put on extended border cards had purpose. It had further art direction. Instead of just saying we want it slightly bigger. So I'm pleased with a lot of it visually.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the set's really neat. And I like the fact that we get Is It Charm as now a common, which is great. Even stuff like Jeskai Elder that, you just kind of need those pieces for a prowess type effect in deck, which is nice. But yeah, you see Southern Tithe and you're like, what happened? When you sort, by USD, I mean, sure, the big dogs are up at the top, but Dockside's the 5th most expensive card, in the set. There's a Phyrexian Altar, which again, you could argue could be in a Commander Legends set. Definitely a Commander Legends or Commander card.
I think that you'd have a tough time putting Phyrexian Altar in the Baldur's Gate set. I think that you could put Dockside.
You could put
I could definitely see Dockside Extortionist in Baldur's Gate.
That's fair.
That's plenty easy. It's a coastal city on the Sword Coast.
Yeah.
I even think Smothering Tithe could be put into the Baldur's Gate expansion. There's a lot of
Food Chain maybe could go
highfalutin. Right? Food Chain is questionable.
That's just like
for Baldur's Gate. I mean, I guess you could do it with like a dragon in the monster outside of Baldur's Gate. But yeah, Phyrexian Altar can stay in this set. That's fine.
Right. But either way, the giant reprints from the previous set were not there, and a lot of people were very, very sad about that. Yeah. But overall, I think the Double Masters, as I said, is fantastic. Force Negation looks amazing. Mana Vault looks incredible. Like
that Chaos Warp with Phil Foglio. Oh boy. Your permanent is now butterflies.
The man had to go buy paint. He had to go buy paint. That's insane. And he said that Kaja's painting too.
Right.
So that's awesome.
Have we seen any Kaja art?
It sounds like there's a secret lair coming.
Oh,
Can you imagine the Foglio secret lair? Let's go.
The Foglio Folio coming soon.
Whoa. See? Look at you. Give them all those good ideas. Now, that said, there will be a pre-release for Double Masters 2022. Surprise! We didn't really much know about it ourselves, but on July 2nd, on Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific, on twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun, they're going to be there with Taalia Vess, with EDH Rex Joey Schultz, with Cedric Phillips, and of course with all the Loading Ready Run people. It should be a really good time.
So Pharmacist Judge in our chat here, of course, a very well-established moderator for the Loading Ready Run channel, says that it's starting an hour earlier than normal, July 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific. So mark your calendars. The pre-release is the best part of a new set release for me at this point. It's the piece of Magic content that I watch the most hours of every year. It's the best thing. They do great work. It's pretty, it's entertaining, it's fun, it's exciting. You get to know people better than you might otherwise get to. I don't know who Joey is, so I'm excited to meet Joey, big, EDH rec person. So that's going to be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a fan of these as well. I think it's great. I love the rules level is REL-axed, and that's always fantastic, and it's a good time. So
yeah, excited to see Serge and Kathleen and Cameron and all the rest. It's going to be great.
Fun times at the Moonbase. All right, that's cool. Well, let's go ahead and move on here to Desperate Ravings. Check out our altar sleeves. You can support the show by using the code MAGICMIKES at checkout for 5% off anything in the store, including a set of exclusive sleeves featuring the Magic Mike's crew at altersleeves.com/magicmikes. I guess it's time to bemoan more about Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. The booster box game for the Professor was one of the lowest ever. Now note, I think there were a few errors. A few cards were not caught. So the whole box wasn't worth $7, but the whole box is worth like $50. And that's also not great. And it just it was one of the saddest little booster box games I've ever seen. For those who don't know, the booster box game is where he'll open up a box, any card worth over $2, he will note. And if he makes enough money selling these cards to buy another box, he will keep going. With Ultimate Masters, I think might still be his record. Double Masters was still good too. It was like 8 or 9 boxes. Like it was bananas. So
yeah, the booster box game is it's interesting because a lot of these cards, tank significantly once the set comes out, and then they kind of climb back up again. So I would be interested to see some of the numbers of comparison of the box. Like, let's say you do the booster box game, and for every box, and then a year later you revisit and take a look at what those values are worth. Because some of these master sets specifically tend to go way back up. Because you say Fulminator Mage was like a big one that got reprinted, and it was like $40, dropped down to 15 or 10, and then immediately climbed back up to 25 very, very quickly. So I would love to see some like, let's time jump a year after every single box and then see where the price sort of stabilized. I think that's kind of neat.
That'd be neat. I mean, I would love to sort of run them back or see him run them back. But of course, the issue with Double Masters and its ilk is that once that print run's gone, people don't want to sell them for, retail or anything close to it anymore.
Right.
Heck, right now they're worth like $400 a box.
Well, I just meant you could just like use the old box and like recalculate.
Right.
Yeah.
The new values. That'd be cool.
Just re-edit the old video with updated prices. You can even compare it to the old prices. And speaking of prices, they did say that these were slightly under or slightly more than was posted. Still not good. Still did not get the value back out of the box, but it was like $38, I think, instead of $7, which is still not $80 or whatever it is that they bought the box for. With that said, the booster box game almost, I'm going to say 80% of the time, at least opens a new box, right? I'm pretty sure.
Usually, most of the time, he gets to at least a second box.
Within $5 or $10, either 5 more or 5 less. Most of the time, it's like right around there. This one is drastically under, probably about half.
It's pretty bad. And sometimes it takes, he opens like, a Sensei's Dividing Top from the list or whatever, and that just bumps in $40 out of nowhere. But, beyond stuff like that, it's unfortunate. He opened 3 boxes, failed to break even on any of them, and it's a little hard to watch. Just saying. It's
not surprising. I played some of it at Dreamhack, and the cards all seem pretty underwhelming. Like I opened a full box. It was a full box 2HG, and we didn't really get anything that like stood out. We played Capenna, and I felt like I got more stuff. Like we got the altar, like Esperland, and I was like, oh, okay, like something that's,
rad,
feasible that I'm going to want to play. And even from a EDH perspective, I still didn't have anything that seemed better than our typical EDH stuff that we already have.
It felt very powered down specifically, and there were a few little tiny spikes in the mythic area, but mostly, it was not just like core set. It was like tame core set is what it kind of felt like. So
it made for good limited though. Like I actually liked that powered down feel.
Yeah. Not everything has to be rocket launchers and spaceships. You can just use guns. Look, man, work with my metaphors here, okay?
You could have gone with bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow, knives.
Spear. Come on, man. We can go further back in time than gun.
Well, we don't need to go back.
We hit you with a rock.
Yes.
He's been in Tennessee for a while now.
I've been in Knoxville now for a little while, and it's great.
So, like, he's that's
right.
Right. Hey, y'all.
Gun is as far back as we go. It's also as far forward as we go.
Well, I've already gotten someone asking, if they want to put some ice in that drink.
Ice? AHS?
It's ice, y'all.
Ice?
Put some ice in that drink.
Love that.
Like, hey, how far? Let's just put some ice in there. That's just what you do around here. It's fantastic.
Love it.
Let's move on here to Subsplash damage. There's changes coming to PayPal payments, and it could be significant.
Yeah. I'm trying to parse what's happening here.
The main takeaway, at least so far, is that business accounts will no longer be able to send friends and family payments. Basically, no payments with no fees, like none. Like before, I think there was like a threshold. They have weird rules or whatever they wouldn't tell you, but you can still do it. Now it's like, nope, you absolutely will have to pay the fee every single time, always and forever.
Well, I hate it. So I'm going to stop using PayPal. So what that says
I think this is going to have a lot of people moving to Venmo and to Cash App. And I think you're going to see a lot of people in the industry who would rather send you Venmos and Cash Apps than they would send you PayPal payments. And
this tells me I need to send the DGen payments before July 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I indeed have a business account that sends friend to friend to all of the DGen streamers. Yep. And then after that, I don't know what I'm going to do because I have 34 content creators. That's a lot of fees.
Yeah.
They want to take 3% out of every single transaction.
That's crazy.
So, 3% up to a cap or?
Oh, I don't think so.
It's just 3%. It's just flat
really?
3%.
I believe it was.
There's no cap.
I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there is here somewhere. I have not read this very closely. I've noted the main takeaway, which is the friends and family thing will no longer be there. Everything else is, please see the link. It's in there.
Yeah.
I'll post the link. Yes.
You pay me via PayPal.
Yep.
So
how about we get Venmo accounts? Can we get Venmo accounts?
I have a Venmo account.
Then let's get
Venmo. And also, you can also just do classic direct deposit. If you are able to if you're a business, I will
mail you a check. You want me to mail you a check, bro?
If you want to mail me a check, I would rather you
my
mail
Cool Stuff
me.
sponsorship is also friend to friend, so feel free, mail me a check.
Yeah. I'm happy to
say that 3%, y'all.
Please do not take 3% out of my Magic Mics, my DGen, and my Cool Stuff.
I would rather walk outside barefoot in 100-degree heat, go get a check from my mailbox and mobile deposit with my cell phone camera and waste a tree worth of paper than have you pry my 3% from my cold dead hands, PayPal. This is how Skype died. They did a bunch of updates and they were like, we're going to do a little bit of change. We're going to try to make things better for us. And then everybody moved to Zoom because Skype became garbage. That's what you're doing, PayPal. Mark my words.
This is a big announcement. And I think, the rumblings have already begun. I've seen talk on MTG finance type groups. I've seen talk on retailer type groups. Like the industry will respond and we will see.
To be fair, PayPal's been garbage for a long time. It's just there's been no movement to move away from it.
Mhm.
This will do that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the push. The push came to the shove, and they're like, "All right, this is what we're doing now." So, okay, fine. Good luck. Speaking of good luck,
Before we move on, will Twitch now pay out 3% less?
no, they send
Twitch pays direct deposit.
They
pay
do direct deposit. Okay,
Yep.
good.
So you're good there.
I get direct deposit from that. It's going to affect sponsors, I think, is the number one thing. Streamers, our tips were already feed through like Streamlabs or Stream Elements, things like that. So yeah, I think it's going to affect sponsorships, and also like if you buy and sell cards, even locally, like at a Grand Prix or something, they oftentimes will PayPal you money.
Right.
And because it's coming from a business account, that will have a fee associated with it. That's probably where it's going to affect most Magic players.
And that's what I was saying. I think a lot of retailers who have vendor booths are going to be like, "Hey, you got a Cash App? You got a Venmo?" Because they'll want to use that service instead.
Zelle.
We turn the corner here to the finisher. Frank Carson tweeted, "The Magic card with the longest rules text used to be Bureaucracy with 769 characters. Alchemy Horizons' new Viconia eclipses it at a mind-boggling 1,655 total characters. We've done it, folks. Thanks to Specialized, we finally have 6-sided Magic cards. Viconia and Nerd Girl's preview Wilson have broken the seal in the next Alchemy expansion. So tell me, what is the next frontier for Magic manipulations, Ruben?"
Well, with 3-dimensional cards with multiple backsides appearing as we speak, it's not a long road to hoe before we get to 4 or even more dimensional cards.
Ooh.
So get ready for Unalchemy, where we'll get Menger sponge cards that have different facets depending on what turn it is, what time of day it is, and the currency.
Isn't that what MetaZoo does? The MetaZoo cards will change if it's like dark or light outside.
I probably.
That's what's supposedly neat about that game, is that like real world elements will influence it. It's strange. Nerd Girl?
All right. Well, I love Wilson, my little teddy bear. So I'm excited for a new format specifically for him and his new friends. Specialized Brawl, because everyone knows that the favorite to win any fight is the Grizzly.
Right.
Yeah. Bear punch.
Magic players love complexity, but they also love memes. I'm so excited for Arena to upgrade everyone's favorite creatures to be even better than their beloved original Stormcrow. It's got Double Strike now, Yargle. How about a Bargle by adding Hex Bargle? And of course, Colossal Dreadmaw, which thanks to Alchemy will now add a new keyword every time it's reprinted.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
I love it. And that ends the live episode of Magic Mics. Thanks for joining us here to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Nerd Girl.
Thanks for having me, guys. See you next week.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you.
We'll move here to our final slide. I want to thank our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, our co-sponsors, CardHoarder.com, and Alter Sleeves, my co-host, MTG Nerd Girl, and Ruben Bressler. You guys for watching and listening. I hope you support us at patreon.com/magicmics. Please follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online on our Discord, twitch.tv at Magic Mics, on Twitter at Magic Mics Cast, our Magic Mics subreddit, and like the Magic Mics page on Facebook. Or join us here next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody.